it was. So yes, it had some economic effect. Yes, obviously some people spent it, but a much larger group of people saved it than they ever imagined. And that's the other thing is people talk about fiscal stimulus, which I've followed this in depth in Japan. And the Japanese put this fiscal stimulus wave, 2/4 of GDP straight back down again. It doesn't work. The only way you're going to get fiscal stimulus to work is completely rebuild an economy, which is why I take seriously the Green Deal, because that is a complete rebuild of the economy that could produce more productive assets at the time. So in which case you could do things like the dams in America were built. That is intelligent use. A lot of fiscal stimulus doesn't go to intelligent use.
So we saw this in the United States back in I think 2008 under George Bush. There was a $450 credit to taxpayers as part of, I think it was part bill or one of the bills. We see it in Hong Kong today. Is that just a natural kind of milestone that we will get back to in the United States, where as we get rates to zero, we print a bunch of money, there will be...
We've always given kind of tax relief or tax credit, so I don't think it's a big deal.
You don't think it's a big deal? Okay.
No. What is a much bigger deal is when you say, right, we've got a depression on our hands, the emotional impact on our population has been enormous, how do we create a future? So what are you going to do in that? You're going to rebuild systems, you're going to rebuild things, and then you're going to spend huge amounts of money and you're going to print it to do it. That's really what happens. Now, the issue is can the currency system survive everybody doing that? My guess is no. But maybe it can. Maybe I'm wrong, right? But the point being is that is a huge way when everybody's doing that at the same time. It's much bigger than a lot of the kind of bullshit stuff that went into town.
So that brings us to, there's two groups of people who historically have always yelled and screamed about this. But it's kind of like their dreams is the wrong word, but their predictions are looking more and more probable every day in terms of, hey, you can't print money forever. It creates these bubbles. There's these huge kind of negative cycles that occur, and that's the gold and Bitcoin crowd, right? I'm going to start put them in the same crowd of just they have a very specific, mistrusting. They just have a very specific view of the world. They actually agree on the problems for the most part. They have different answers as to what the solution is. You told me that your portfolio, you've got cash, you've got bonds, gold, and Bitcoin. You're in that group. Walk me through kind of why.
So I think that's a good question because it'll show you how I try and think about things. So knowing this is coming, because that allocation's been around for a while for me. Knowing this is coming, my view was that interest rates have to fall. The dollar, because of the dollar issue, is going to rise. It is going to create a global wrecking ball. That global wrecking ball is going to cause everybody to both stimulate massively, and so this is pre-corona, right? There's nothing to do with coronavirus. It's going to cause them to stimulate massively and bail out their pension systems across the world. And that the outcomes of that mean that usually in that environment, gold does relatively well because there's more fiat versus value of gold. It does work well. If you look at, I look at gold in the basket versus a basket of 27 currencies excluding the US dollar. Okay. It's not the dollar that's a driver, and you can see then gold as a currency basically. And it does exactly what it's supposed to. It goes up, price average bit goes up, and it goes up, and it protects basically your purchasing value as a global currency. So it is a global currency and works well for that. And so the situation is, okay, so we're now going to the point where the dollar's a wrecking ball, and there's all the printing money, gold goes up. Okay. That's the world we've kind of lived in the last 20 years. But with the problem of the excesses of this particular cycle and the aging of the baby boomers and leaving the workforce and the retirement system, I think we have a chance of breaking it. Having gone through 1998...
Breaking the system.
Correct. The financial system is what I'm talking about here. And having gone through 2001 and 2008 and seeing what's left of the imbalances, corporate credit being one, and then how the system doesn't actually function any longer in a number of levels, the outcome is going to have to be a move to something different. If there was anything that was genius about the Satoshi white paper, it's basically predicting this. Whenever this comes, right, this is likely to be an event. That's like the Bitcoin as a call option on the outcome, as is gold as a call option on has to be a change of the system we've got, and that means
the way I look at this is basically twofold. I think you are hitting right around this, which is we're headed to a bad situation. If the bad situation hits kind of low to medium bad, then gold will do what it's always done. Bitcoin is likely to do similar to gold.
Possibly.
But just in terms of at least the way people are thinking about today kind of digital gold narrative. If for some reason we don't hit the low to mid bad levels and we actually hit really, really, really fucking bad, which is this kind of breaking the financial system, gold will serve as kind of a base case protection. Bitcoin is likely to then be the thing that outperforms everything because it is a resetting of.
Yeah, and it's also aside to that is an narrative that you'll be well aware of that most people aren't really aware of because there's too much talk about just about Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. There is a brain drain of people coming out of finance and coming out of technology and coming out of science that is beyond anything I've ever seen in my life, and they're basically creating a hive mind to rebuild financial custody, ownership, transfer of everything world in parallel at the same time. And I don't care what tribe you belong to, whether you're Ethereum or Bitcoin or Block One or anybody, they're all doing the same thing. It is the largest change that I've ever seen, and what's incredible is it's a hive mind doing it. It's not being directed by one person or one thing. Everybody's working on different bits. The DeFi guys there, the transfer of money there, the this, Christ, tokenization, sports stars.
It's taking the technology that we have available to us today and trying to literally rebuild a financial system for an internet-first type world with, in my opinion, two key differences. The first is this idea of separation of state and money, and the second is the decentralization in a global manner, right? And so the reason why I put those two things there is I always think of it as like the base unit of account and then the infrastructure that is around the financial services around it. Historically, when we've seen technology in finance, it hasn't been anything to do with the base unit of account, right? It's always been around infrastructure, around services, etc. That's happening now, and there's this whole wave of that occurring, which fintech, so not even crypto, just fintech, and then also the crypto stuff. But this idea that the actual base unit of account could change and is actually having innovation.
Not only, the base unit of account is having true innovation, right? So I've talked at length about this, but the Facebook Libra thing is a really big moment, and we don't know how it's going to come out in what form, and it won't come in full force immediately. But basically, there's a private company setting up an SDR based on all the currencies in the world, including the US dollar. So that basket, if you think of my gold basket, 27 currencies, this seems to move up and down by global money supply, right? So that's the most stable currency on earth already, and it's issued by a private corporation. Now, what we also know is every single central bank is building digital currency, right? So they're building digital.
Some admit it's something, but they're all doing it.
It's on-ramps and off-ramps. They get it. So they're building on-ramps and off-ramps. The ability for you to pay taxes, the ability for them to control your use of currency within the state function. Yeah, within the state function. But they also understand there is no way of stopping the other rise of other alternative currencies. And Facebook said, well, anybody can create currency.